Dead as a Doornail, Book 6 of the Stan Kraychik Mysteries. Author, Grant Michaels. Publisher, St. Martin's Press, New York. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 36. With Angie's exclamation, I have the second word of my simple two-word answer. It's gardenia. The simple answer is Angie Gardenia. And the wrong place is my house. Branco quickly surveys the situation. We got a complaint about some trespassers in here. He looks at me. I recognized the address and thought there might be trouble. My guest house is notorious already, and with Chip grappling me from behind, things look even more suspect. I explained to Branco. It's not what it looks like, Lieutenant. I mean, we're not... Shut up, fag, says Chip. Angie says, It's him, Uncle Vito. I told you, but you wouldn't believe me. Branco says to Chip, You can let Stan go now. No, says Chip. He needs to learn a lesson. I say, Is that why your little snub is poking at my bum? Suddenly, Chip's snub-nosed dick is no longer prodding me from behind. I understand why when I feel the warm metal barrel of a snub-nosed revolver under my jaw, warm because it's been in Chip's front pocket. Yep, sweatpants with pockets. Okay, says Chip. I'm in charge now. I want you all out of here. Now, everyone. All except you. I can tell by Branco's eyes that Chip means him. Chip screeches, Everyone out. My ears ring, feeling like a desperate doll. The girl, too. His voice cracks with tension. Branco starts to say something, and Chip jams the barrel of the gun harder into my throat. Out now, or the fag dies. I give Branco a pleading look. He orders his men to wait outside. Angie slips by me, gives me a last forlorn gaze, and leaves the house with the rest of the cops. The whole exodus takes less than a minute. Now it's just Chip, Lieutenant Branco, and yours truly. I look around my house. What a dump! I remember buying it because I wanted to set my life on a new course. Be careful what you ask for. Chip says, You were the only one who listened to me. Me? I say. Shut up, fag. Branco extends his big hands like he's trying to calm Chip down. I look into the cop's eyes. I want to appear brave, but it's not easy. I want to appear smart, and that's even harder. Chip says, You were the only one who acted like you cared. Everyone else just wants something from me, but all you did was listen. Branco says, Let him go, son. You and I can talk without you holding a gun to his neck. I like it better like this, said Chip. I want the fag to know who's in control. They're running the whole neighborhood, and I'm tired of it. They look at me like I'm something to have, like their houses and their cars and their dogs. But I'm not one of them. I like my body, and I like what I do with it. But I'm not a fag. That's fine, says Branco. Just let him go. No, says Chip. He squeezes my neck harder and says, You like my body now, fag? You like how it feels? Is that what you want? This is what Myron wanted. Too bad I can't show you how hard I squeezed his neck, but I need 2 hands for that. And one of them is occupied. He slides the snub-nosed gun up along my cheek like a lover's caress. You like that? He says. That's not a muscle. Branco lets out a heavy sigh. Mr. Holton, he says. Please, son, let him go. You and I can talk this over in private. No, says Chip. I want him to hear. I want him to know how bad it makes me feel when people think I'm a fag. Like I don't know, doll. Branco's face becomes tense, as though the situation might be beyond his control. Now I'm getting worried, too. Branco says, You okay, Stan? I try to nod. Then he says to Chip, Son, I'm here to listen to you. You take your time and tell me what's on your mind. I'll even sit down. You want to sit down, too? No, says Chip. Okay, then. Just give Stan a little breathing room, okay? He knows you're in control. Right, Stan? Damn you, cop. Whose side are you on? I make a small nod. Branco sits down on the floor. Look, he says to Chip, there's no threat to you in here. I'm sitting down in front of you, all right? My crew is all outside. Everything is going to be all right as long as we stay calm in here. So why don't you put the gun down, son? Chip pushes his gun into my jaw. How do I know I can trust you? Branco says, you have to trust me. I know you're not a killer. I know you don't want to hurt anybody. You're scared, but that's all right. You understand. No one's going to hurt you. I'm here. I want you to talk to me. Chip's arms release the pressure on my neck slightly, then he talks. Thorin and I used to come here to do photo shoots. The place was abandoned, so we figured there was no problem. That was it. There was nothing else going on. Thorin wanted to do more pictures, but there was no pressure. Still, it got to be on my mind a lot, and it started bothering me. That's when I decided maybe it would be all right to try it, to do a few sexy photos. Thorin promised me that nothing would show if I didn't want it. Branco nods. So far, so good. This is what was on the police tapes. Chip continues. But that morning when I got here, I saw the truck. I thought it was Thorne's. He said he got a new truck. But when I came in, Thorne wasn't here yet. I figured I had some time and I thought I was alone, so I opened my shirt. I was trying to get myself in the right mood, and then I unbuckled my jeans. Didn't open them, just unbuckled them. And that's when the kid showed up there on the second floor. He was already in here and he was watching me. Chip's arms tightens around my neck again. I look at Branco. He says, go on, son. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Chip's voice sounds dry now. I don't do that kind of thing in front of other people. And when that kid caught me, I wasn't doing anything, but it looked like I might be. I felt awful. I felt ashamed. But the kid was acting like I came here just for him, like I was some kind of surprise birthday present. He thought I was a fag, and that's when I flipped out. Branco says, just tell me what happened. He came on to me, says Chip. I mean, the kid really came on to me, and I couldn't take it. I kept telling him I'm not gay, I'm not a fag. Chip Holton is beginning to remind me of that famous French painting of a pipe entitled, This Is Not a Pipe. I didn't mean to hurt the kid, he says, but I got worried. What would happen if I said no to him and he went to the police? What if he told them about Thorne and me? What does that make me look like? Just tell me what happened next, says Branco. The kid was talking sexy to me and I couldn't take it anymore. I ran up the stairs. That's when I hurt my foot. It went right through that damn stair. The pain was bad and that made me feel even worse. I had to do something. It hurt so bad. I had to do something. And that kid was going on, so I grabbed his throat. I just kept squeezing it until he shut up. Took a while, but then he went limp, like when you kill a squirrel or a kitten. Branco lowers his eyes. He'd guessed wrong. Timmy didn't fall. Chip says, that's when I threw him down the stairs. I didn't mean to kill him, it just happened. I hurt so bad, and he was talking sexy, and I couldn't help it. It was all a blur. Not a blackout, doll. He says to Branco, I know it was wrong, and I'm sorry. But what are you supposed to do when a fag comes on to you? Just because you look good and have your shirt open. Branco stands up now. Chip says, what would you do, sir? Just take it? If you do that, doesn't that make you a fag too? Branco's face is flushed. His voice is strained when he speaks. Mr. Holton, I realize this is all very difficult for you, but what you did is wrong. Perhaps it wasn't premeditated, but you did kill that boy, and I have to arrest you. You'll receive every possible consideration because of the situation and your emotional condition. But the fact remains that you killed Tim Shignasi. Chip said I was sorry. That's not enough. I didn't know what I was doing, and he came on to me. Branco says, it's time to put the gun down. No, says Chip. I'm ordering you now, son. Put it down. Another no. I'm sweating again. Didn't we do this already? Branco says, don't force me. You won't hurt me, says Chip. Branco draws his own gun. Chip snubs nose, digs into my neck. I guess this is it. I close my eyes, a coward after all. I feel the barrel of Chip's gun scrape against my jawbone. I know it's the microsecond before it's going to kill me. The gun goes off. My ears are split with the noise. I open my eyes to witness my own death. Instead, I see Branco's gun sailing through the air in a high arc above me. The cop crumples like a powerful stallion just as his gun lands heavily at my feet. Chip's hold on me relaxes and I break free. It all feels like slow motion as I pick up the gun at my feet and then realize it's Branco's gun. Branco's gun? I swoon. Maybe I am dead after all. From somewhere back on Earth, I hear Chip's voice saying, "Hey, fag, are you getting hard?" I roll around like a ballerina and shoot the snub nose out of his hand. Calamity Jane is in a tutu. Suddenly, Chip is wailing, "My hand, my hand! You hit my hand!" I answer bitterly, "I was aiming for your heart." I got to Branco. On the way, I pick up Chip's gun. No response for that one. But Branco lives. He's hurt, but he's alive, and the earth can turn again. Meanwhile, the other cops have heard the shots, and they are coming into the house. Branco calls out that everything is under control, but as the cops ramble in, my super sensitive schnoz tells me things aren't quite right. There's something wrong in the air, something like cleaning fluid. I recall the paper bags and the 4 big cans that Chip brought in with him. I turn to see Chip furiously splashing fluid from the open cans. His hand is bloody, but the wound doesn't stop him. I realize that Chip is about to do, and I think a moment too long about it as I get up from Branco to go and stop him. He pulls a lighter from the other pocket of his sweatpants. "Don't!" I yell. Then I'm knocked backward, almost into Branco's lap by a wall of hot air coming at me. Just as quickly, I'm pulled back up by a suction of pressure going the opposite way. I open my eyes and see that the entire back part of my house is on fire all at once. The cops have barely come in the front door, and they're facing a fireball. I hook my arm under Branco's good shoulder and try to drag him away from the flames. He's heavy and his strength is jerky, like a big wounded animal. He tries to help me with his own legs, but mostly it's my Slavic limbs that propel us toward the front door. That's where the other cops get him and carry him out of the house. They try to pull me out too, but I go back for Chip. He's lying behind a wall of flames. He probably got the wind sucked out of him from the initial flare-up. I crawl through the flames and grab his clothes. I drag him through, but the guy is heavy. All muscle, and it's hard to move him, especially since he's unconscious. I thank my mother's genes for providing my best strength when I'm on all fours. So like a big, old Slavic pack animal, I haul Chip Holton's refined muscular body from the inferno. His sacred garments have started to burn, my ordinary duds too. Once we're clear of the flames, I throw myself on top of him and roll us around to smother the flame on our clothes. There's one advantage to being a few sizes larger than Chick. Then the cops come and throw a fire blanket over the two of us. You can have fun with a sexy guy under a blanket, or you can be me. Outside the house, the fire trucks and ambulances have arrived. 2 medics are tending to Branco's wound. Angie is standing close by. 2 other medics get Chip on a gurney. They slap an oxygen mask over his face and take his vital signs. I gaze down at Chip, lying on the gurney. I mutter softly, "Now, call me a fag." A Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.